So y'all, I promise you, when I sat down to select my losers of the week, I really tried to avoid Joe Biden because he's been named so many times that it's almost unfair to the rest of the world's collective losers. But then he rambled on about some nonsense on two separate occasions, and I just couldn't help myself. So here is Joe once again being a loser. Fires and $1 billion, trillion, million, billion dollars. Let's play Words with Joe.
I was doing Meet the Press, and lightning struck a little pond behind my house, came up through the ground into the air conditioning system, ended up generating thick black smoke, literally that of those proportions. And from the basement to the third floor, the attic, everything was ruined. And the kitchen floor, we almost lost a couple firefighters, they tell me. We passed $368 billion worth of help, which, as the same bankers talk about, is going to bring $1.7 trillion billion off the sidelines in investment.
Y'all have heard of FDR's fireside chats? Well, our current president gives us more of what I would call the dementia diaries. And as for the billion, trillion, million, billion dollars thing, that wasn't a gaffe, folks. That was a lowball estimate of how far in debt we're going to be after Joe completes his remaining 830 days in office. I'm not really sure the point of his kitchen fire story, but I do know that in 2004, the Associated Press said it was actually a small fire contained in the kitchen that was under control in about 20 minutes. But whatever, let Joe dream, right? But it wouldn't be the first time he got his delusions confused with reality. Weird he would talk about the horrors of a small kitchen blaze, given he's turned our country into one giant dumpster fire. But speaking of fires, let's jump countries now on over to Germany, where they are set to burn 800 million unused face diapers. Turns out the masks passed their sell-by dates, and about 20% of them had quality defects, like maybe they don't freaking work. Now, burning those face masks isn't a loser thing to do. Actually, quite the opposite. I applaud them and let those cloth muzzles burn, baby, burn. But the loser part of this story is similar to our buddy boy Gavin Newsom. Germany's former health minister Jan Spahn wasted the equivalent of $5.9 billion on those worthless-ass face coverings. And turns out, just like Gabby Boy, he may have procured those lovely face diapers using personal connections. So while I'm happy those bad boys are going to burn, it's also enraging how much of the people's money global leaders wasted on them. Let us never be that stupid ever again. But next up, Halloween is just a few weeks away, so to get y'all in the spirit, my last losers of the week are these four Mississippi daycare workers who were recently fired after this video went viral. So it turns out Little Blessings Child Care and Learning Center is a pretty traumatic place to be this time of year. But shoot, if I would have known wearing a scary mask made people behave and clean up after themselves, I would have gotten one to wear around the house to whip my soon-to-be husband into shape long ago. But that's a story for a different day. Anyway, look, I believe these workers did it all in good fun, and I believe they didn't intend to inflict terror, trauma, and horror on those young children. But where they really messed up here is the mask choice. If they wanted to do something truly terrifying, I could have suggested some better options. Because the White House is essentially a spirit Halloween at this point, and I am still not convinced Hillary is not Michael Myers.